let go.
What's going on, guys? So let's go ahead and break down this trailer for the next episode of Gotham, and the first thing we see is the wedding between Mario and Lee, and everybody's getting up and it looks like they're clapping, so more than likely they just said their I do's. Now there's nothing really interesting here, it's just a wedding, but we saw in the last episode that Mario is infected with Alice's blood, so he's going crazy. So it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens, and I do think that during this episode that freaking Gordon is going to find out that Mario is infected, and he's going to try to crash this wedding, and it looks like he's already there with this scene because there's some flowers. It looks like he's in a church. Then we go over to here to freaking Gordon fighting two dudes in what looks to be like a church hallway. He's fighting these two guys. Of course, Gordon always holds his own, but then it looks like he starts to get his ass kicked. Jumping over to later in the trailer, we see that Gordon starts taking shots at somebody, and if you look in the background, it looks like he's at some kind of lake house or he's on a dock. There's also this shot right here of a woman standing very far at the end and a man walking on a deck to freaking go meet this woman. Now that looks like, obviously, it's probably Lee in the background. Maybe they're gonna go be on their honeymoon or something. And this guy, I'm gonna assume, is Mario. He looks a little too built to be Gordon, and the way he's walking doesn't really seem to be Gordon. So I'm gonna say that that's Mario, and possibly this scene where Gordon is shooting somebody might be him taking shots at Mario, although they might be a little bait and switch, and I want to say that he's probably shooting at some goons. I don't really know, but it is very possible that he could be shooting at Mario to save Lee. Now, if you're thinking, why the hell is Gordon getting beat up by all these people? More than likely, Mario is going to tell his father, or Falcone's going to find out that Lee went to Gordon's house, they probably kissed, or that Mario saw Lee leave Gordon's house, so he's going to put extra security detail to not let Gordon in. That's why he's going to be fighting these dudes and probably has to shoot somebody. But, I don't know, in the end of this, if Mario does die at the hands of Gordon, that's going to put Gordon versus Falcone, which I told you which would be something that I told you is going to happen in this season. I feel like Gordon was going to end up getting back with Lee, and that was going to cause some friction between him and Falcone, because remember, they used to be friends because Falcone used to know his dad, and freaking Gordon had Falcone help him break out of prison. So they have some kind of a relationship, but if he ends up killing his son, that is going to put them at each other's throats. So we'll have Falcone versus Gordon, which will be very interesting if we find out that Gordon's dad is the head of the freaking Court of Owls, because we talked about that in episodes when we saw a guy wearing Gordon's dad's ring, and it had the same kind of shit on it. So we think that Gordon's father might be the Court of Owls leader, and remember, he was friends with Falcone, and Falcone is under the Court of Owls, so bada bing bada boom, there could be a lot of shit about to break off in Gotham if this is the way everything happens, because Falcone can be like, you know what, I'm gonna kill your son because he killed my son, and the freaking Court of Owls is gonna be like, bitch, don't touch my son, and it's gonna be all this crazy shit. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens on this episode. Next thing to talk about is Riddler and Penguin. We saw in the last episode that Barbara found out that Penguin was in love with Riddler, and Riddler found out that freaking Butch and Tabitha aren't the reason that Isabella's dead, so we know some shit is going to happen on this episode, and it seems like Barbara is actually going to tell Riddler that Penguin killed Isabella, because that's her hunch. She doesn't have proof, but she believes that is what happened. So she's going to turn Riddler on Penguin, and if you see on this freaking shot right here where there's a knife coming out of somebody's freaking wrist and they have it in their hand, that is Riddler, because if you really look at the suit is green. There's this next shot of Riddler looking kind of pissed, and in the background Penguin looks really scared, so maybe Penguin found out that Riddler found out that he killed Isabella, so he's kind of worried, and we might just get Riddler stabbing Penguin on this episode, and I'm really up for that, because I want to see all of these, supervillains against each other, because they're all smart, they're all powerful, and just having villains against each other like it happens in the comics, totally something I want to happen. So we might possibly get Penguin stabbing, or I should say Riddler stabbing Penguin on this upcoming episode. Also, we have this shot of Tabitha, Barbara, and Butch looking like kind of shocked of somebody walking into the Siren Club. Now that could be Penguin or Riddler. More than likely it's Riddler probably going to confront Barbara to be like, how do you know? How is this true? Like, where did you get this information? She probably called him to come to the Siren Club and to say she has information on who killed him. I don't know. That is a possibility. Or Penguin actually shows up to the club, and that is why Butch is super shocked and be like, you son of a bitch. And, you know, I think that might be something that could happen too, because he could be like, what the hell did you tell Nygma? Blah, 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 blah. So those are the two possibilities. I think it's either going to be Riddler or Penguin that shows up in the Siren Club to actually confront these people. But more than likely, I feel like it's going to be Riddler because Barbara invited him or told him about the whole Isabella thing, so he's going to go confront her. So that is what I'm predicting with that scene. Before I talk about what looks to be the best part of this episode, I need to remind you guys that JUICEbox merch is a thing. A lot of you guys have been asking for it over the last year or so. JUICEbox merch is a thing, but only for the next 6 days. So if you want to snag yourself a shirt, you got to go to the link in the description and buy yourself a shirt or a hoodie or a girl tank top. There are varieties of colors and stuff, so totally check that out. Also, if you're wondering why the hell I'm talking about this right now, it's because a lot of you don't watch to the end of the video, so I gotta sneak it in there right now, okay? Another thing I should point out too that I didn't point out in the JUICEbox merch video is this thing is only going on for 6 days, so after 6 days these shirts are gone. Also, I'm kind of using this as a beta test. Depending on how well these sell, is gonna, you know, make me think about selling other shirts, because if I only, you know, if it doesn't sell well, there's no point in me making a bunch of different designs if we're only gonna have like 2 shirts sold the whole time, you know what I mean? It just wouldn't be smart to be wasting time on it. It would be like wasting time on making videos that nobody watches. So I'm kind of doing this as a beta test. So yeah, if you guys are interested in wearing a Juice from the Box shirt, you can totally buy one right now in the description down below. Now let's get back to the Gotham stuff. So yeah, now let's talk about the whole Bruce and Selina freaking being badass spies and thieves and stealing what looks to be something really guarded for the Court of Owlkey that we know that they have. So, we get a whole little smirk of Bruce Wayne like, you know what, bitch? In the future, I'm gonna be Batman, you're gonna be Catwoman, and we're gonna be... That's what that smirk says, basically, on that rooftop where he's all badass, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, we see that Bruce and Selina are actually going to break into this Court of Owls safe or whatever, and there is a freaking laser beam floor that will alert anybody that is breaking in. So, they have this high-powered freaking catapult gun. It's not a catapult gun, it's a harpoon gun that Selina is gonna tightrope walk across, and she's all like, don't let go. First of all, why don't they just get something and tie it to there instead of relying on Bruce's strength? I would never rely on somebody's strength to hold up a damn wire. I would tie that bitch to something, but hey, you know what? Maybe that's what's gonna bring the drama into this episode. Maybe Bruce is gonna drop the wire. I don't know. That isn't gonna help you in the relationship department, Bruce, because it's not gonna, you know, she's not gonna be able to depend on you, bro. That's basically all we see, that Selina is gonna tightrope walk over to this door and use the key to open it, and we're going to find out what the mysterious thing behind the Court of Owls is. But this looks like it's gonna be a pretty intense episode. We have Penguin versus Riddler, which is more than likely going to end up in somebody getting stabbed. We have Gordon going after Mario more than likely because he's going to find out about the whole Alice thing and he's probably going to cap his ass on Lee's wedding day. And we have Bruce and Selina trying to go after the Court of Owls and finding out what this magical key belongs to. So this next episode looks pretty badass. I want to know your guys' theories in the comment section down below. Guys and gals, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with all your bat buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. If I have my daily dose of juice, see you guys next time. Bye!